Hey tribe, how's it going? Come on in and pull up a seat. We spoke a few days ago, and I realize I am actually pretty late to record today. Told you guys I was starting back at the farm, and I love those plants, man. They can do no wrong. So, been surrounded by all that great oxygen, that great energy that plants just give off all week. And I actually worked 6 days. I actually worked from Sunday to Friday this week. Got off at 2:30. So shout out to my hardworking people. We still in this. We still, unfortunately have bills to pay and families to take care of. So while we do these things, we still have obligations. So I thank y'all for finding time, in those schedules that we all more than likely have, to tune in and see what's being revealed over here. I'm taking away time this week from the Kings because at this point, for me to dig into Solomon, I'm gonna have to commit some good time to that, guys. So I'm gonna go back to what the Creator gave me originally and dig into that for a little bit for you guys because um, this to me is my biggest reveal from the Creator, period. And it was right in the front of the book. I had sought out, um, answers from others before trusting the Creator to reveal it to me. But when I saw the inability for people to give me answers, I just decided at that point I'm gonna trust my Creator um, to be right there with me and read these things and help me reason these things out. And obviously, that's what happened for me. You know, um, I opened the book and saw her seed. And when I saw her seed, I don't know, it was almost like being hit over the head with a book like, hold up, haven't we always heard that it's his seed? After all, my last name is my father's last name. You understand? So at this point, I'm confused. You understand? But I'm confused no more. Uh, you won't hear anyone else on here. Shout out to Chief of Eagles. You won't hear anyone else on here tell you that Eve didn't leave that garden in Torah. I don't care if they open the middle of the book and show you whatever they want to show you. They're not going to tell you that they saw Eve leave that garden. It was not revealed to them. They were not chosen for that to be revealed to. I am under the belief that that was concealed until the Creator wanted whom He wanted to see it. And I'm not saying this to be full of myself. I don't say this to be conceited. I say this to tell you that I had an extremely limited understanding just a few months ago to where I thought I needed to go to people who I thought really understood the book, but um, Lamentations 2 and 14 tells me that those people can't tell me what my iniquity is. They will only see vain and foolish things from me. So I gave up on that. I went to my Creator. And guess what? My Creator showed me that my mother never left the garden. Not my body mother. Not that mighty mitochondria that flows through my veins, through your veins. That XX. The Creator showed me the why death. No one else is going to tell you about these things. They're going to show you vain and foolish things. That's not what I'm here doing. I took the time to open that book from the beginning and saw something that was always there, right in the beginning. So forgive me if I don't want to listen to anyone else at this point. I feel like if uh, if somehow no one noticed that, how can they tell me anything else? My creator is in my corner. I'm going to keep rocking with my creator. And I hope y'all all do the same. Like, really and truly sit down and have a conversation and ask for the truth to be revealed to you with true intent, with it deep in your heart, and it will be. So I'm up late, guys. I'm up late, and I'm not mad at that. I love being here with you guys. So I told you guys I wanted to show you more about why my mind went to this antiquity character after looking at Adam's genealogy and trying to figure out, where could he have gone and who could he have been. For some reason, I tell you guys that this character, Aesop, was coming to my mind, right? And for a couple of different reasons, right? But not only Aesop, I think I remember telling you guys that I looked at the spelling as possibly being spelled like this for Adam, right? I tell you guys, I don't really understand how I went down this path. I can just remember going down this path. So let's do it together, right? So this is a Quranic name for boys, Adam, right? Adam is a variant of Adam, has the exact same meaning and pronunciation. You can use either Adam, spelled Aedam right here, or Adam. Both are correct and acceptable. If you like this variant more and you'd like to pronounce it the way it is, the way it's spelled, this is perfectly acceptable. So you can see the main entry for Adam. Adam is a direct Quranic name for boys. That refers to the first human that God created, who was also the first prophet. They send peace to him. There goes that word peace again. Remember, I told you that I'm not going to be using that word with you guys, but I'm glad that it's here because not only does the Torah Tanakh tell us that those that don't come with the message for the Creator will use these terms, I'm also seeing it here as being in the Quran. That's new to me as well. Adam, according to some linguists, is related to Adim, which means dust, since God created Adam from dust, or from Adamah, which means surface of the earth. The word Adam mentioned 20 times in the Quran. And you see here some Quranic scriptures. So we're going to go ahead and go back out of this. I just wanted to show you guys that for some reason that spelling had been in my mind. And as a result of that, I looked for names that started with that AE, which remember I told you guys that's the diphthong. So here you're going to see, remember I told you guys that the reason why Aesop came to mind was the link between Aesop, let's go back real quick, and Genesis 2 and 20, right? We're right here. Well, one, we found out that Adam left the garden, right? And when we found that out, we decided to figure out, well, what are the things that Adam could have got into, right? Okay, I have my suspicions as to Edom being linked to Adam as well, but we'll go down that path eventually, guys. We're just going to stay here for a second and start at least digging into the possibility that there are some identities that could have very well been Adam, right? And it's cool to dig into that because I feel at this point, why would we not? We're finding out he left alone. We're finding out that any mainstream stories that we've heard are false. Any books that tell us that they left together are going to be a false narrative because that's not what the Torah tells us. So at this point, it makes sense to look for some clues as to who Adam may have become once he had left the garden, right? Because we know that we just saw that Adam is close to Adamah and Adim for dust. And at this point, do we really think he was running around calling himself Adam? I don't know. But I see some clues that give me some insight as to uh, some questions I have about some folks from our past, right? We saw that he's the first prophet of Allah according to the Quran. It's spelled as Aedam. Okay, so here we got Genesis 20, 2 and 20, and it says here, and Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him. Okay. So we see Adam naming a lot of beasts of the field, right? So as I told you before, that's why my mind went to Aesop. And I wanted to see, sorry, Aesop, right? Because the A is silent. Aesop. Because I wanted to see if, in fact, there were any other folks from antiquity with that spelling of that A-E. And there were only two people that I saw, and that was Aesop and Adam, which if it's Aesop, because the A is silent, is it Aedam? You see what I'm saying? If it's spelled the Aedam. But anyhow, here's a really good, fair use for the purposes of education, right? Here's a really good article right here to show you that story that I was telling you guys about. That raised even more suspicion for me as far as this person from antiquity was concerned, right? All right. It says here Aesop was a Greek fabulist and former slave credited with inventing the genre we now call fables. His life is shrouded in uncertainty. The tales of Aesop are arguably well known to contemporary audiences from the Epic of Homer. He's considered the inventor of fables, an analogical narrative format intended to convey moralistic lessons to audiences. However, we know little about his life. Okay, I want to go down here though, guys. It says here he was mute and ugly. Okay, here's a so-called picture of him. According to legend, Aesop was a remarkably ugly individual. He was described as filthy with a fat belly, a large head, bandy arms. I mean, they spend a lot of time right here just talking about his physical appearance, which I really don't care too much, to delve into right now. The only thing I want to point out is here at the end. It says, however, his physical appearance was not the only mark of his difference. He was also mute in his early life. We do not know if Aesop began life mute or if it was a result of, or if it is resulted as a consequence of some past trauma. Although he eventually gained the ability to speak and communicate, his initial inability is never shown as a hindrance in his life story. In fact, his inability to speak only emphasized his remarkable intelligence and resourcefulness. According to one story, Aesop manages to cleverly defend himself when he's accused of stealing figs by the two real culprits. They blame the mute, presumably defenseless Aesop for their crimes. Although unable to speak, he begins to gorge himself on warm water, which results in him vomiting and revealing that he had not eaten any figs. He then gets his master to make the two culprits do the same, leading them to vomit up the figs. He's spared while the other two are punished. Even without his hallmark gifts of storytelling, he could still wordlessly tell the right story when he needed to. See why I have my suspicions about this character? Doesn't it sound like being in the garden? I mean, could the other two culprits be Eve and the serpent? Sorry, I should say the woman and the serpent, because at this point, she's not named Eve, right? It says he was a devout man who respected the will of the gods, emphasized in many of the fables attributed to him, which focus on the Olympian gods. It says here that Aesop helped a lost priestess of the goddess Isis who had strayed from the road. Once he helped guide them back to safety, Isis and the Muse repaid him for his act of kindness by granting him the ability to create clever and meaningful stories in Greek. Like a character from one of his fables, he acted morally and was rewarded for it. Hmm. Although a gifted speaker and incredible storyteller, the 4th century philosopher Homerus describes Aesop's voice as soft and high pitched. This could simply be the result of a mute person never previously using their voice muscles, but it's more likely a late addition intended to further emphasize his unique origins. In all likelihood, Aesop's physical deformities are all extra elements intended to characterize and mystify this ancient story maker. Ancient writers like Herodotus, yeah, Herodotus, never mention any of these physical deformities, and they are likely a much later additional element added to his story. They say that this actually was developed out of the Aesop romances, right? Written in the 1st century. Um, let's go down. It says he was a slave. Okay. Hmm. Funny how Aesop looks like the devil, huh? You know, the old picture that we would see of the devil with the little horns on the top of his head and a little tail. Hmm. In stories, Aesop always starts out as a slave. There were two types of slave in ancient Greek: those born into slavery and those who had been captured and forced into slavery. There's dispute over which category he fell into. They say he was captured as a prisoner of war in Thrace. Others presume he was born into slavery. He was first owned by a philosopher named Xanthus, and then by a man named Aedam. Okay, we're going to go with that. I really don't care about these people's names, so I won't make a really huge effort to get it right. Like, you know, with Torah, I try to do the best I can. These names are very ancient, so I'm going to do the best I can with this, okay? Once Aesop gained the ability to speak, he quickly proved himself to be resourceful and quick-witted. Um, and a quick-witted public speaker. I'm sorry, guys, I'm so tired, but I don't want the day to pass without me getting a study in, okay? In one version of his life, he is freed by the philosopher Xanthus at the behest of the citizens of Samos. Aesop had tried and failed to use logical argument to convince his owner to let him go. All right, let's go down here, because what I want to show y'all is the part where he is. Oh, well, then I do got to go back up here, guys. Aesop had tried and failed to use logical arguments to convince his owner, Xanthus, to let him go, although he proved to be a more capable philosopher than his owner, Xanthus. He always refused to, due to his own arrogance and pride. This all changed when the assembly on Samos asked Xanthus to interpret an omen of the future for them. Xanthus proves to be incapable of correctly interpreting this future omen and comes close to committing suicide to avoid public shame. However, Aesop easily sees the answer that his master failed to understand and informs the assembly that he knows the correct interpretation. Aesop notifies the assembly that unfortunately he cannot tell them the answer, pointing out that technically only free citizens are allowed to approach and speak in the public forum. The assembly pressures Xanthus into freeing Aesop, who then successfully interprets the omen of the future for them. After his successful interpretation, he gains great fame and fortune as a storyteller and public speaker. With his newfound liberty, he begins his new life by traveling the known world. Throughout his travels, he told his fables and worked as a lawyer and public speaker for those who needed his help. Isn't that great? Was he of African descent? This is why, guys, I also have my eye on this character because you'll see why. Come on. Perceptions of Aesop has fluctuated and changed over the course of history. The Byzantine scholar named Planudes made a recension of the Aesop romance in which he suggests that Aesop may have actually been an African man from Ethiopia based on his name. Planudes argued that Aesop was very similar to the Greek word for Ethiopian. Ethiopian. The idea that Aesop was Ethiopian was further supported by the presence of many African animals scattered throughout his fables, such as elephants, camels, and apes. Many have asked how Aesop knew about these animals, as none were indigenous to Greece. Do you see, guys, why I had my eye on this individual? However, historians are quick to point out that the inspiration for the non-indigenous animals likely derived from Egyptian and Libyan sources, a trope that was likely introduced into the fable canon centuries after Aesop would have existed. Do you see why I have my eye on Aesop? Because, like I told you, all of the animals that were in these tales, how would the person have known these animals, right? Let me go back to some of his fables, right? Let's see, where are we at? Aesop's fables. Here we go. Aesop's fables. I think there's a list in here, guys. Yes. Okay. Remember, I told you guys, but they're not just animals that are indigenous to Africa, guys. You know, I've shown you guys that the lion is not necessarily just indigenous to Africa. Bears are not indigenous to North Africa at all. We got cats, we got wolves, we got, geese, frogs, bats, birds, ants, grasshoppers, okay, donkeys, hares. There are many animals shown in the fables of Aesop that are not just indigenous to, quote, Africa, as they would have you believe. So, one of the things, the reason why I got into the name, remember it said here that the name, even if it was the Quranic spelling or the, I guess we want to say the Christian spelling, the Adam versus the Aedam. I wanted to show you guys something really funny about this name situation, right? So the last name Adam, remember the Quranic told us, the source that we just looked at that showed us the Quranic name spelled Aedam, they actually showed us that that's actually used as a name, right? So we're going to look here and you're going to see that the name Adam is in most instances used as a last name as well, but also to link to first man Adam. Not saying that the person carrying the last name Adam 100% links back to the first man Adam. I'm just saying it was at least, if that's not the case to today, it may be at least in homage, right? So here you have origin and popularity of the name Adam, right? It says Adam. English, Scottish, German, French, Walloon, Breton, Dutch, Flemish, Romanian, Polish, Czech, Slovak, Slovenian, Croatian, Assyrian, Chaldean, Hungarian, from the biblical personal name Adam, which was born according to Genesis by the first man. It is the Genesis Hebrew term for man, which is probably a derivative of Hebrew Adama, earth. Compare the classical Greek legend that Zeus fashioned the first man, blah, da, 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 da. Adam was very popular as a personal name among non Jews throughout Europe in the Middle Ages. Jews, however, did not use this personal name except in recent times under Polish and English influence. Spanish variants of Adam, see Aedam, Muslim from the personal name Adam. Compare Adim, American shortened form of Scottish and Arab, Moadam, or McAdam. Sorry, it's McAdam. I told you Gavin cracked my phone, guys. And also of the cognate from other languages. See examples below. Okay. Shortened and altered form of Armenian. Atamian or Adamian. All right. Let's just get out of here on this one because I want to show you guys something so funny that popped up, right? Now, I keep telling you guys that Adam left alone, okay? Check this out. I was researching the last name Adam, and look what we found. I think this is just so funny, guys. So it pulls up this article, and I'm like, well, what could it be showing me over here with the last name Adam, right? Here we go. The life and times of Grizzly Adams. The true story of a man exiled in the wilderness and how he learned to survive. How about that? Well, is that a coincidence or what? Do we believe in those? And look what's underneath The Exorcist. Wow, what do you know? And Jaws. But they really wanted you to go see Grizzly Adams because it was about the life and times of a man that was exiled, right, into the wilderness. Yeah. You think this is a coincidence, guys? You think other people know that Adam left alone? Quite possibly. I think they do. I think they do know that he left alone. The true story of a man. This is just too funny, guys. And you know, I'm going to tell y'all something. No, maybe I shouldn't explore raw thought um, like that, but Seth has been on my mind. That's all I can say to you guys right now. I'm just researching some things as it pertains to Seth. So guys, I just want to one last time take you guys back to Job 31, and I want you guys to remember that it was not Eve that hid a transgression in her bosom. It was Adam, right here in Job 30:33, or is it 31? 31 and 33. If I covered my transgressions as Adam by hiding mine iniquity in my bosom. Told you guys I believe Torah, and I question what it was that Adam did when he left the garden alone. We know this here on the front line. Thank you guys for watching every week and giving me some of your time. Much love to you guys. And be patient with me. I am, back on the farm. I'm still being a mom. And I'm most importantly, listening out for guidance from the Creator for us. So just be patient with me. I'm actually looking to work on a really big project as it pertains to Solomon. I think it's really important that you guys recognize that he is not who the Creator commissioned. He was not called by the Creator. And I think actually we no longer hear our Creator, or our Creator actually turned away from us. as a result of some of the doings of Solomon specifically. He was not called. And we know who appointed. And we know it was not our Creator. So bear with me as I bring that presentation forward because I really want to do a good job, guys. And I know in my last presentation when I wasn't working that I missed a few slides and didn't pull in the right scriptures or here and there. So I really want to make sure that I have time to, uh, one, create it, but two, also go back over it and really make sure that my presentation is uh, is clean. Okay, guys. So much love from the front line, guys. I really appreciate and love you all, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Every week to the front line to see what's going on over here with your girl Shamar. All right, guys. I will see you guys next week. Take care.